I just thought that would make good conversation for today since you're all about cyberlaw. That's a big
I'm
case
gonna
right
start
now.
a-
It's really hitting the forefront.
I'm going to start a little bit early today, since I don't know if anyone else is going to be showing up. Do y'all? I think pretty much everyone's here, other than maybe David coming in from the other class. To give you a little bit more time, I know it's frigid in this room. I'm here. I am wearing a sweater, and I'm still cold. That's crazy. Christina, you were in my ISA class, right?
Yes.
I was pretty nice in there the other night, wasn't I?
You're the nicest.
Well, I'm about to do something again.
I still don't trust you, by the way, even though I think I know where this is going. I can't do it. I
Sean?
don't trust you.
I'm not going to make a comment this time.
Thank you.
How about I just tell you that your review questions, your chapter quizzes, and your unit tests, do them at your own pleasure for the rest of the semester.
You mean just online? Or do we have to go into the lab?
You're not going to submit them to me. I'm giving you credit for them.
I was just doing that. I'm down.
I would highly encourage that you review the quizzes when they're open and take them. I'm going to go back and reset it to where you can take it as many times as you want. So take them and understand the content of the question, because you will see those questions over and over and over. Actually, you won't. Because your midterm and your final is your cases.
Mm-hmm.
I want this to be more about you learning the cases than busy work. I've had a change of heart this semester. And so I've just given you 30% of your course grade.
Thank you.
Is it just our sparkling personalities you just like to
No, I just don't want to grade it.
Wow. Come on, you could have.
Wow.
No, it's...
Thanks regardless.
No, the system grades 90% of your stuff. The more I thought about it, that's a lot of extra busy work. And I'd rather you get the enjoyment of understanding and the knowledge out of the class, because I will know how much you understand from when we do the court cases. Okay? With that being said, I'm not going to lecture you too much. I mean, we will cover some of the ethics book PowerPoints just on Mondays just to go over it. So you do learn. We're going to go over a little bit of the laws. I may use the PowerPoints for the cyber law book instead of the ethics book, because we all know how ethics is. Each of you have a different version of ethics, especially Matthew.
Why you think I can't use straight face?
Oh, you did that one to yourself week 1, Matthew.
Yeah.
And we'll actually get in, and I'll explain the laws the way they are written and why they came about, and see if you can use them in your court cases. Okay, I want you to use Title 18. I want you to use COPA. Anyone know what COPA is?
You're talking about
Child Online Protection Act.
Child Online Protection Act. COPA. It's part of your first one. You should know that.
And what was the other one? COPA and
Is it 225?
Title 18?
I don't know the number on it. But there's COPA, there's HIPAA, there's FERPA, there's Title 18. Title 18 of the U.S. Code. There are 200 and some odd subsections of that. I don't expect you to memorize it, but I expect you to be knowledgeable about. That's where a lot of your laws are codified for the IT area. Okay? That's where your punishments come in, so you can go and look and see what the punishment is for the crime. It specifically will tell you in there. And in the cyber law book, they do break it out into the different sections throughout the book. You're also going to have some Title 15s. Not as many. They're just basic overviews of management type stuff with Sarbanes-Oxley, that kind of stuff. But you're going to have the Graham-Leach-Bliley Act. I mean, there's a lot of different laws that will pertain to your court cases, especially when we get to the second one when it's using fraud over an information technology system. How many are you familiar that when you create or that when you do something illegal on your computer, that you're actually going to be nailed with FCC violations?
What?
Because you're committing commerce you're breaking commerce laws by committing a felony over the use of commerce. Because in order to download pornography, let's just say child porn, you have to transverse a commerce industry and multi-state. So that's why it's a federal felony, not just a state felony, for downloading child pornography. So it doesn't matter where you go, you're going to get nailed with it.
Even if you're getting it from a source within your own state, it could ping.
Exactly. All it's got to do is cross the state line, and now you get two states that can get you.
Right.
Because your traffic came through. How many of y'all are cybersecurity majors? How many of you have had forensics when you've gone through and looked at email headers, and you've backtracked through with the IP addresses going back and realized that, oh, just because it left let's say we're here on this one and we go to Google. Where's Google located? Europe. That's where their servers go.
Yeah.
So you're actually going to Europe to come back to the United States. So it pings out through New York, comes back into New York.
Could you be charged with international?
Yes, you can, but there is no international laws.
That would explain why it had the Greenwich Mean Time in the email.
That's why everything's based on GMT, because it goes through globally.
None of the treaties that we have
No.
or anything govern things like that?
Not IT. There is no international IT law. That's why you can download child porn, because there are countries that don't care.
Yeah.
If it was international law that you could not do it, those countries would be prosecuted for doing it. You would not have near as much of those kind of sites at all.
Okay,
Not saying that there won't be, because you're still going to have the idiot predators that will go and videotape the neighborhood kids, but I'm just saying you're not going to have it's not going to be a profitable business venture as it is now.
Is this one of the reasons why there is not international law?
Because
you
the
can't,
countries
like,
don't agree.
block those countries from being able to access the internet.
That is correct.
You know, so
You can't do it. We believe in the freedom, so why would we? But our freedom says you can't do this. How can we put our freedom on another country?
Right.
For example, in the Arabias Peninsula, it's illegal for women to look at other men outside of their own family. They get arranged marriages.
Can't drive.
They get the honor killings if, they married someone outside of their own, or if they went and broke any of their family religious beliefs, whatever it may be. I don't want to say they're Muslim. I don't want to say they're Islamic, because they could be anything, really. Whatever that family believes, and they say, okay, well, my daughter went out and married a white man. Well, that's against my religion. Boom, they can kill her and get away with it. Here in the United States, you'd be put on the death penalty for killing your kid.
You've actually had cases in the United States that have come up of people who have killed their daughters.
And they actually get off because it's freedom of religion. And we have to uphold that.
Just like the circumcision of women, that's
Yep.
they
And the circumcision of men is even becoming an issue now. Now they're saying it's a health issue, but that's a whole different story. You have to look at it as every country is going to do their own thing. Do you think Iran is going to sit at a table with the United States
No.
to discuss internet? No. China's not either.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Because them and North Korea are the two number one hacking countries besides India.
You go to China, you can get all kinds of software.
Piracy and all that stuff. Because the second international law is codified from the United Nations. there's going to be a lot of globalization that ends when it comes to IT related stuff. So therefore, what's the point? Well, my goal in life I would love to be there and help develop those laws. Because I'm more of a social person, I like to sit back and say, okay, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Let's put all these on the board. If everyone agreed on these needs, let's write the law to this. Because everyone agrees to that. Now these fringe things, we're going to agree to disagree on. But as long as you have some international law, it gives you some control over, and gives Interpol some more enforcement. Because the FBI can't technically reach outside the country. They do, but they can't. Yes?
It addressed a little bit in the book about, that there are certain countries that, restrict the internet in various ways. Like I know China, my husband works with Chinese interns that come over every semester.
Right.
And he was talking to one of them about Tiananmen Square.
Mhm.
And, the Chinese government still doesn't even admit that Tiananmen Square happened. What they tell their people is that, the students came out to protest and the government said, please go back to your dormitories. And the students went back to their dormitories. Not that they slaughtered 5,000 people.
Yeah, even though there's
But,
videos that show it.
Right, exactly. But you can't access it on the internet in China. Like, if you look up that date, you will find no information. There's not a single hit. And she was talking about it, and then she looked it up while she was here, and kind of opened her eyes about a lot of things. But so if China is able to do that,
Well, we can do it too.
I mean, we could, but
If the United States did that, you're gonna have everyone uproaring about the First Amendment right to freedom of press,
exactly.
and the Constitution would say, you have that right to go and surf whatever you want to surf. That's why you can go surf child porn, but you better not have it
Right.
on your possession. So it's kind of a catch-22. It's like your parents saying on prom night, well, you can stay out to midnight, but you better not be, you better not be doing anything you shouldn't be. And they're out at 11 o'clock checking all the hotels to make sure you're not in another hotel, right? I mean, it's kind of one of those things. You can do it. You have the freedom to go out and stay there, but are you going to be back when your parents tell you to? Are you going to stay within the freedoms? Because truly, yeah, you may have freedom of press, but you still only have an extent of freedom.
Right.
For example, my freedom of press. I could go say, I'm going to kill somebody, right? Was that freedom of press?
No, because it's like calling fire. Isn't it harming somebody? Or no? Or it's a threat?
Well, what is it? You tell me. What do y'all think? If you say you're going to kill somebody and you put it out on Facebook, is it freedom of press? The answer is no. You can be sentenced to jail for a terroristic threat.
Yeah, it's attempt, isn't it?
Well, but
No, it's just the threat thereof. It's considered a terroristic
yes,
threat.
you can be tried for the threat, but you can still say the threat. But
Exactly.
there are consequences for that.
Exactly.
You can still put it out there, but under your freedoms, but there are consequences for doing so.
Exactly.
Also in other laws, so.
And that's how the United States gets around like the child porn issue. They have laws that say you can't do it. You can't download it. You can go to the site and visit it all you want, but guess what? When you go to the site, you're actually downloading things in the background that you don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought
All those images come in cached and in cookies and sit on your account. Guess what? All it takes is your computer to crash. You take it to Best Buy and they realize it. You go to jail.
I guess with the
Not saying that anyone needs to do that, but
with the filters that China has in place, I guess I don't understand enough of the technicalities of it,
Mhm.
like how, with the way that the internet is set up and the web, like, is it based on IP addresses that they're
Mhm.
able to block it?
I can
or-
block it IP address. I can block a MAC address. I can block specific sites. I can block DNS. I can block different types of filtered for searches.
So that there's no way that those computers within that
That is
subset
correct.
can get outside of that part of the network,
Right.
even though it's
Because what they do is, as you come up here in the United States, we all come up to one point, the IANA.
okay.
All right, they assign all IP addresses worldwide.
Right.
China comes up to the IANA. Everyone comes up to the IANA. In order to get to a site that's in the United States, you have to go through the IANA server. I can block it at that firewall and say, these IP addresses don't exist. You cannot go to this. So you can try to do it from inside. You're just not going to get anywhere.
Could you, like,
They'll give you a fake 404.
could you maybe get to a site, but then not be able to go to a site that it's linked to? Like,
That is
would be
correct.
blocked.
Yeah.
So you could still partially navigate through a little bit of it, but not get to all of the different.
And all they have to do is say, do a text filter search on Tiananmen.
Or that date, or whatever.
Whatever
information
filter
were
they,
restricted by.
and then they can create a false page and point it to that.
Huh.
If you meet this criteria, go to this page. Make your searches all come to these kind of pages. And they may have like 15 news outlets that all say the same thing.
That probably then sends a flag back to their government that you were even trying to.
Exactly.
Look at that information.
It logs it.
Could you use VPN, like virtual private network?
If you mean to VPN over to here and then
Yeah,
use a
and then
computer
from
here,
To the
it depends. It depends on how it's set up. If the company's Chinese owned, no. Because they're going to route their traffic back to China to come back. It's really strange. Even though they're traversing the United States ISPs, they're in that tunnel.
I mean, is there ever a point that, I mean, I would think with the level of international business that we have, especially with China, you know, since they were welcomed into the WTO, like that, doesn't that put serious constraints on the business traffic that is possible to even happen? Like,
Depends on what the filters are. And
I guess what
the United
business-
States can say, we put filters on certain things. That's why you can't get into the NSA for a lot of things.
Well, but that's part of like the hidden web, like stuff that isn't just accessible to everybody.
Exactly. But you can get to it from the regular web. They're all interconnected. Unless you have a separate LAN by itself that no one else can, they're not even touching each other in any way, shape, or form. And they're going to be because you have to get access to the internet from in here.
Right.
So it touches all the computers in the world are interconnected. They have filters and software parts that are in place that prohibit certain actions.
Well, anything you do, you have to go through China with ISO, ISP.
Mm-hmm.
So they just-
And they cut it out right there. If it's a U.S. company, when you're inside China, you go through their China ISP. That's part of their agreements with companies to come in.
Have to play by their rules.
Exactly. They come over here, they play by our rules. The exceptions are diplomats.
so
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
sort
say
of
they don't
software.
always. I've seen a few things.
Well, I mean, you're going to have the mafias from the different countries that come in and do things, but
Yeah, the Mexican mafia is big right now.
Yep. You have the
They
drug
kill people,
cartels.
they go run back to Mexico. They hang their heads on sticks and run back to Mexico.
Yeah, they're just afraid of what will happen if a Republican gets elected,
Well,
because all that'll end.
I think they should be, if an independent, I think everybody should be, because then they're going to stray away from all of it and really, because independents aren't afraid of hurting people's feelings.
I'm not afraid of hurting people's feelings.
Democrats, and they have too much
You always
politics.
hurt somebody's feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to get into politics in this class.
No, that's what I'm saying. Each one has their own
Yeah,
politics.
everyone, no matter which group you look at, none are really better than the other. I think we need just to admonish all parties, and you don't get just one candidate from each party. If you want 30 people to run for president, 30 people run for president.
So all we have now is the puppet on the left or the puppet on the right.
Exactly. You only get the choice. Which one do you
It's
want?
handpicked by the puppeteer.
Yeah, the state of Oklahoma doesn't even recognize third parties anymore.
Yep.
I mean, my ex-husband was a registered libertarian, and when they passed that law, I can't remember what the name of the law is, but they sent him a new voter registration card that was marked independent. is they lump all third parties into independent now. They just don't even recognize third parties. So, and because we have the closed party primaries, if you're third party anything or registered independent because you think they're both ridiculous, your right to vote is taken away in the primaries to begin with. So, whole system is
if I ever got elected president, there'd be a lot of changes I would want to do. One of them would be the electoral process. There should be no such thing as primaries. The primary vote is November 4th or November 6th or whatever date it will fall in on that year, and that'll be it.
eliminate the electoral college.
No, the electoral college is fine because it's based on the census and it gives you a true representative value for the amount of people
But
in your
not every
area.
state's electors are required to vote with.
Oh, I agree.
The populace.
Right. Oh, I agree. Now, that would be something that needs to be looked at. The electoral college as a whole, the idea of it is good. Now, you have, I think it's North Dakota is one that has the two different ones, and what's the other one? Is it Massachusetts? It's one of the Northeast states. Maybe it's Connecticut. But they have two different areas. But to me, when it comes down to the electoral college, the idea is you need to have a true representative nature of who your party is. But I don't think we need to have a party per se. I think you need to have, all right, if you want to run for president, you got to register in every state. You can't just register in 15 states. You got to register in every state and run a national campaign. Period. Then you're going to get farmers. You're going to get lower class people that are going to want to go in. We need to throw out all 536 people in Washington that we can, because we can't do anything to the Supreme Court, unfortunately, unless we all jump on the 25th Amendment and reset everything, which we have a right to do. That just means 4/5 of the state have to ratify a new constitution.
Right. Americans are far too complacent to do anything like that.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's hard to get anything voted on to begin with. What do you mean you think you can get 4/5? You can't even get 51%. You get 49%, and then the 1%. The other people don't care. Anyway, today we're just going to focus on your case. And then once you get done as your group, then you're done for the day. Coolio? And those in Cyberland, if get with your groups, please. I'm not going to say it again. Make sure that you've talked to your group leader to find out exactly what you need to get done. Get it done, get it turned in so we can all discuss it and go from there. No questions, items, concerns, gripes, complaints.